So our next lesson is save if you want to do priceless things and live richly, an old saying from many years ago that you may not be familiar with. But there's one thing that's undeniable, that people in this country do not save as much, even compared with other countries. And so let me give you a few things to think about. 40% of Americans say they could not sustain a simple $400 emergency because they don't have an emergency fund. They would have to sell something or go into debt for it. Over 75% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And that includes 10% of people who make $100,000 a year or more. We don't save for things like emergencies, anticipated expenses, a retirement with dignity. We just spend, spend, spend. So you need to save. I tell high school students this. You need to have a savings account, and you need to put something in that savings account from everything you ever get in life. After school summer job, babysitting, birthday present, holiday present, everything. Put it in that savings account so that you will learn to be a lifelong saver, and you will learn that you can't spend everything you make in life. After a presentation for seniors one day, I had a high school student come up to me and say, "Judge, I just want to thank you." And I said, "Okay, why?" And she said, "I actually saw you when I was a sophomore in my personal finance class, and you said we needed to have a savings account and save something from everything we ever got. And I didn't have a savings account, so I made my mother take me out and get one that day. And after that, I did everything that you said." And then there became a time when I wanted to buy something really badly. And it was a little bit expensive. But I was able to buy it and not feel guilty because I had saved for it. It's what we call delayed gratification, which we don't know too much about in this world today. And she said, "So I just want to thank you." When I was growing up as a boy in my immigrant Sicilian family, I had to save 50% of everything that I ever got. And so I learned what I want you to learn, to be a lifelong saver, and that I couldn't spend anything, and that I couldn't spend everything that I made. But I learned something else that I didn't quite get at first. It took me a little while to realize what they were teaching me, and that's this. If you have to save 50% of everything you make, and you want to do some things, you've got to work harder. And so I had a paper route. I sold caramel corn at the Lilac Festival in Highland Park in Rochester. I did everything because I had to save 50%. It was an important lesson. My grandson, he's 11. He has a cash box in his room. And he has to put something from everything he ever gets in that cash box. He's 11. And I don't know how much he has to put in, by the way. That's up to his mom and his dad. But he has to put something in there. And so he's at 11, already knows that he can't spend everything he gets, and he'll be a lifelong saver for sure. And if you don't want to get a savings account for some reason, get a cardboard box or a piggy bank and stick it in your room and start saving. Because here's 3 things I'm really worried about for your generation. And this is the father and grandfather in me talking. First, you will have Social Security when you retire. Politically, we have to save it. But I guarantee you it won't be as generous as mine is right now. What does that mean? 2 things. 1, you're going to have to save more for a retirement with dignity. And 2, if you're the one working and successful and having a career, you're going to pay more taxes to save Social Security because that's the only way we can do it. And so it's a double whammy for your generation that nobody else had to face before. 2, health care. Healthcare costs just keep going up. Mine goes up every year. My wife's a retired high school teacher. Her health insurance has gone up $100 a month in just the last 3 years. That's $1,200 a year she has to pay out of pocket as a retired person. And that's your future. Your health insurance costs are going to go up. And if you're going to wait for Medicare for all, please don't hold your breath. And so it's another double whammy. you're going to have to pay more for your health coverage. And 2, you're going to pay more taxes if you're the one working to subsidize all of those Americans who can't afford their health insurance. And the number of those Americans keeps going up every single day. Another double whammy. And last, the national debt. Folks, it's real, it's not metaphysical, and it's a problem. It's over $27 trillion, partly because of the pandemic. And your generation is going to have to do something about it, because those politicians have been kicking that can down the road for so long, but you, unfortunately, thank you very much, are the end of the road. And so you're going to have to pay more taxes to get it under control. Not pay it off, that's impossible, but get it under control before it eats up all of our GDP. And so please, start now saving, learn to be a lifelong saver, so you can meet all the challenges in your life, financial and otherwise, and be ready for those 3 things that are going to hit your generation that never hit any other generation before.